What if the most powerful weapon in the world isn't a missile or an army, but a spreadsheet? In an age of satellites and nuclear arsenals, the United States discovered it could bring entire economies to their knees without firing a single shot. The question is, how long can that power last before the world finds a way around it? Edward Fishman is a former U.S. Treasury official and sanctions architect who helped design some of the most consequential economic pressure campaigns of the modern era. Written in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and rising tensions with China, this book pulls back the curtain on a hidden battlefield, one fought with dollars, semiconductors, and shipping lanes. Fishman writes, not as an outsider, but as someone who sat in the room where these decisions were made. The first great idea at the heart of this book is the concept of the choke point itself, those rare, irreplaceable nodes in the global economy where leverage is absolute. Just as geography once determined which empires controlled the seas, today, a handful of financial institutions, microchip factories, and software systems form invisible bottlenecks that the United States has learned to exploit. Control the choke point, and you don't need to control the country. And that insight quietly revolutionized how American power operates in the 21st century. But Fishman goes further, revealing how economic sanctions evolved from blunt instruments of punishment into precise, almost surgical tools of coercion, a transformation that required as much legal creativity as geopolitical strategy. The story of how America weaponized the dollar clearing system and semiconductor supply chains reads less like diplomacy and more like a slow-motion heist, where the prize is the behavior of sovereign nations. Yet with every escalation, adversaries studied the playbook, and the deeper theme emerges. Power used too often becomes power that others race to dismantle. The most profound and unsettling argument in the book is that America's greatest economic weapon may also be digging its own grave, because every sanction imposed accelerates the global search for alternatives to dollar dominance. China, Russia, and even allied nations are quietly building parallel financial rails, alternative payment systems, and domestic semiconductor industries designed with one purpose: to make American choke points irrelevant. Fishman forces us to confront a civilizational question. Can a superpower wield financial power with enough wisdom and restraint to preserve it, or will the very act of using it guarantee its end? What choke points ultimately teaches us is that power in the modern world is less about brute force and more about structural position, and that the most consequential decisions of our era are being made not on battlefields, but in treasury briefing rooms and semiconductor boardrooms. It asks us to reconsider what strength really means when the most dominant nation on Earth can be challenged not by armies, but by countries simply choosing to trade in a different currency. In the end, this is a book about the fragility hidden inside dominance, a warning dressed up as a history. If choke points sparked something in you, I'd love to know. Drop a comment below. Do you think economic sanctions make the world more stable or less? If you want to go deeper into the hidden architecture of global power, our breakdown of Henry Farrell and Abraham Newman's underground empire pairs perfectly with this one. And if you're finding value in these explorations, subscribing means you'll never miss the next one.